The history of Fluko is a mystery to everyone because it is complex and old. One of the only things we really know are the five founders of the company: Fanchon, Lilias, Hugo, Rowan, and Olivia. They represented one of the biggest and most powerful families in Switzerland. They decided one day to create this car manufacturing company because they were passionate about cars. Nowadays, Fluko competes with other big brands in the same sector like Mercedes-Benz and BMW in terms of sales, improvement of the technical characteristics of the cars, market share. Fluko is a company in the automotive sector that is involved in various activities, such as vehicle distribution, marketing, advertising, and press. Also, marketing and distribution of spare parts or agreements with distributors and repairers, sales and after-sales service. Fluko has its headquarters in Lausanne, in Switzerland. Being located in this part of Switzerland allows the company to be situated in an active economic curve and in a dynamic city in constant renewal and highly technological. Fluko's mission is primarily to create a working environment conducive to efficiency and business. It is important that every element of the company has its place and plays a key role in the company. This applies to both our employees and our customers. The company strives to create an atmosphere of goodwill and complete transparency between employees in order to use our know-how to build top quality cars for our extremely well-advised customers. Fluko has the responsibility to create a favorable environment for its employees. The company tries to empower its employees by encouraging them to innovation, to communication, and accelerate our growth. Fluko builds trust with its customer by ensuring that it is always transparent. The company remains at the forefront of technology and quality in the production of its automotive cars and products with adequate customer services.
Now, about the organizational structure, the hierarchy of car is a vital demonstration of the well-organized hierarchical structure of any automaker on a global level. This hierarchy is broadly divided into three levels: administrative, executive, and operational. These levels are described below with a few sub-levels explaining all the job profiles in an automobile company. For the administrative car company level, these are senior officials and some are not even company employees. They take care of every business decisions. The different job profiles at this level of the car manufacturer hierarchy are as follow, as you can see on the organizational chart. Then for the executive car company levels, professionals at these levels of the automaker hierarchy are knowledgeable mid-level professionals who have vital industry experience up their sleeves. These skillful officials work under the supervision of administrative level professionals. The different job profiles at this level of the car manufacturer hierarchy include the job titles opposite on the organizational chart. And finally, about the operational car company level, these professionals at this level of the car manufacturer hierarchy are professionals and take charge of all day-to-day operational work for car manufacturers. This may also include some intern who enter the automotive business shortly after graduation. Now we will talk about the company employee. Fluko employed a total of 150,000 people. Fluko fundamentally supports the employment and qualification of local employees. The company assumes that these employees know the region and the local market and have good network useful for the future development of their establishment. However, the company still hire for wage employees in order to be able to meet all needs and also especially in order to internationalize. For the future plan to move, Fluko company decided to expand to Eastern Europe in Estonia because the car market is doing well there. Indeed, the Estonian automobile market grew by 11.2%. The entire Baltic region is part of sales momentum. Over the same period, a growth of 21%. Estonia remains the country in the Baltic zone where the most new cars are sold, which represent a real opportunity for this company as production and labor costs are cheaper, thus allowing more to increase profit. Then the Fluko company intends to internationalize in the United States, which rank first in the automotive market. The American market is experiencing a lot of investment at the level of manufacturer and equipment suppliers. Production factories, technical center are both a side of the United States and also in the South. The Fluko company had many opportunities to internationalize in the United States because there are follows. The startup environment in France offers interesting automotive technology for the United States. Then the French automotive technology are highly valued by automobile manufacturers and suppliers working on the American market. And more than 150 French automotive subsidiaries present in the country. The company will therefore set up a new Fluko factory in the United States for a new vehicle produced with new methods in a new segment. This therefore requires winning new customers and therefore meeting the need of a number of people with various and varied models.
Currently, we intend to internationalize in two countries, precisely Estonia and the United States. In order to ensure this project, it's important to do a job analysis upstream and to determine the employees who will be expatriated abroad to take charge of the project. First of all, in order to carry out these two projects, we will need to choose different teams who will work exclusively on them. Each team will be made up of at least one project manager, whose function will be to supervise the team, defend the interests of the company, and establish a link between the head office in Switzerland and the project under construction. It's very important that the project manager is aware of the culture code of the country in question and that they speak the language of the country as well. It will also be made up of a team of expertise, technical study, and journalists, which will have the function of carrying out the design of the structural work, of assisting the architect, but also of giving precise detail of the execution. Several architects will be sent to design the project, to design it within the definite budget, to respect the town planning rules. He is with the project manager the only one to have a global vision of the whole project, which is why each architect must also know precisely the culture of the country in question. This team will be accompanied by technical support whose function is to manage the administrative aspect of the project and to control invoice and the overall commercial vision. And finally, each project will be composed of a work manager who will have to lead and direct the whole team in charge of the works management. He is the guarantor of success criteria such as deadline and quality. The company Fluko has opted for external recruitment. That is to say that we are looking for employees outside the company of competent people and with relevant work experience. We have opted for this choice in order to introduce into the company individuals with new ideas, new skills, and who will make it possible to establish concrete change within the company. We believe it's necessary to make change to the company that could either attract new customers, expand your range of products, or modify the way the company operates. These changes are possible with external recruitment because new entrants will be able to share their ideas and skills. While if we develop an internal recruitment, the team remains unchanged, so we must be satisfied with the already existing idea. In order to always arrange your team and therefore to constantly share new ideas, we have also opted for both national and international recruitment. As your company aims to constantly expand internationally, whether in Europe or outside Europe, we need to diversify the team. First, we will try to hire employees who live or have lived for a long time in the different countries, where we want to set up, particularly in the field of marketing and sales. This allows you to know your target more easily and to develop products that are specific to them and to develop an advertising campaign adapted to the inhabitants. Second, developing a culturally diverse team allows you to work with a large number of countries and even with foreign companies. This will allow you to contact partners more easily without worrying about the language, knowing the cultural management of the company and the cultural code. Finally, over these employees perform better in certain areas, so it's necessary to entrust them with tasks that we are not able to do. Having had a different education and professional knowledge adapt to your environment, it's obvious that some countries have mastered new skills for which we have no aptitude. Hiring over these employees make it easier to fill this knowledge gap. To hire employees from foreign countries, we have implemented several strategies. One of the methods that we have put in place is recruitment via internet. Internet is a great way to attract and recruit new employees. Thus, thanks to internet recruitments, we can broaden the range of recruitment sources and especially at a relatively lower cost. However, this recruitment method also have drawbacks because it partially distorts the image of the candidate, dress, position, or non-verbal language. In addition, this also limits your recruitment because in some countries the connection is poor or they do not have access to the internet. For example, in view of the complex Chinese politics, it's difficult to recruit Chinese employees. In addition, in order to recruit more easily, whether it's abroad or in Switzerland, we use recruitment sites. These sites make it possible to identify potential employees by weighing their CV, but also to do very specific research according to your needs. There are also foreign recruitment sites. It's also useful for recruiting quickly because the search are specific, so in normal times correspond to your expectation. Finally, we use CV banks, also called CV database. These banks, like the recruitment sites, make it possible to do specific research at a lower cost and therefore to hire employees more easily and who correspond to your expectation. The company Fluko has defined specific characteristics to be earned in the company. First of all, your recruitment system is specific to your organization. That is to say that everything has been reflected according to your functioning. Your company advocates solidarity, cultural diversity, but also employee satisfaction. It's necessary that all employees have similar value. Any employees working at Fluko must actively contribute to the peaceful development of the company. Thus, they will have to show in their CV and during their individual interview that they have similar value and that they intend to reinforce them to create an understanding between all employees. In addition, candidates must meet the personal condition of the company. They must thus meet various personal criteria, which are as follows: self-confidence, sense of innovation, cultural sensitivity, know how to communicate, knowing how to work in a team and independently, know how to actively invest in a project, sense of responsibility, adaptability, relational skills, and involvement in updating professional knowledge, willingness to learn and train. It's important that the candidates are able to do the different professional tasks assigned to them. All employees must have great skills in order to carry out their task and thus contribute to the financial development of the company. Technical and professional competence, professional training, previous work experience, reticular capacities, motivation of the candidate, and mastery of foreign language. In order to assess the candidate, the recruitment process within the Fluko company is done in 3 phases. First of all, we read and analyze the CV and the cover letter of the candidates. This makes it possible to eliminate any candidate who either has no professional experience or does not correspond to the value of the company. It's also possible that we analyze the weighting of the cover letter, especially if the interview concerns a managerial position. We then conduct an individual interview with each candidate. The objective is to get to know the candidate, to validate the veracity of his motivation, and to understand why he wishes to join your company. If it's an employee living abroad, we do a video conference interview. Finally, all remaining candidates must pass selection tests. These steps include psychometric, personality, situation, and physical abilities tests. This allows you to test the cognitive, intellectual, but also reasoning abilities of each candidate. Moreover, thanks to this, we can with certainty designate the future employees who will be called upon to work in your company.
In order to develop our company, it will be necessary to expatriate some of our employees abroad. This expatriation will bring us a lot for the company, but also for her employees. So improve agility skills is the first advantage to expatriation, because for each employee that will allow them to adapt to any situation. The second is a cultural, personal, and professional open-mindedness. Also an unforgettable family experience when you go away with your family. Then a very interesting financial and professional opportunities and career advancement. And the last one is meet different people. In order to best prepare her employees for expatriation, we have put in place 3 phases before expatriation. So firstly, the first phase consists of asking the employee about their lifestyle preferences, who they plan to go abroad with, what their hobbies and passions are, in order to offer them suitable accommodation with their previous lifestyle and to avoid this complicated search phase when they do not know the country. The staff from the country of expatriation will accompany the employee throughout the implementation of the local adaptation. The second phase is to put the employee in contact with other employees already living in the country in order to get information about the way of life. The last phase is to create parties in order to put in contact all the people who are going to expatriate in the same country, so that this group of people who are going to live the same experience can help and support each other.
First of all, our company don't want to just employ people and use them as resources that will provide us some money. Working and be employed by our company is a whole experience. Each person has its own importance and utility. We want the best experience for employee, which begins with a long CV analysis. Then, come an important interview, the employee as well as the superior are going to exchange and talk a lot about their point of view of this job, expectations, their role and their aim in our company and their potential evolution. At Fluko, your talent is our first priority. Our career management is based on trust and believing in your potential. The Fluko philosophy is based on two main pillars. First, creativity. We want our employees to have the best condition to work and develop their potential of creativity and curiosity. No one is too ambitious or innovative. That is why we have in each parent company a special room reserved for innovation and creativity goal. No noise that could bore you, no one that will make you dupes in yourself. Only you, your whole potential, without any barrier. Second, passion. If you're not passionate with what you are doing, if you're not passionate about your current job in Fluko, in our company, it's because it's not your job, and that's okay. But we are never going to force you to stay with us. Your job and our goal is to bring you fulfillment every single day. We want that every time you open the door of Fluko's company, you can't wait to start working. Our company couldn't be there without our employees' dedication. Our career management try its best to make our company and employees reaching their growth peak, which is always getting higher and higher. The constant evolution and improvement is also a very important value. There is always place for improvement, and each field has a potential evolution. Our Human Resources Center always take care about employees' advices to give them easier and better work conditions. More concretely, our company, to reach its different goals, fixed once a month an assessment of the employees' skills and performances. Moreover, we always ask for an honest feedback of the workers in order to adapt their career to make sure that each employee will work where it's the most efficient. Then we determine and manage our teams to divide and distribute our short, medium, and long-term tasks. We want that working in our company is a stimulating and inspiring experience, and that is why our career management center makes a huge part of Fluko. In the same way, we want that humans who work for us feel their best whether in its own country or when it expatriates in another one. Indeed, companies often talk about how they help employees to socialize in their new country, but less often how to act for the right judgments of expatriates after completion of an international assignment. That is why it is so important for us to follow our workers at each step of their expatriation, from their leaving of natal country to the go back in their home city. Our repatriation system is well developed, with all information available at any time. They have access to them online as well as physically in our repatriation center. We try our best to make all those business trips as much fluent and easygoing as possible, and in order to complete this challenge, here is what we implement. First, we make sure that our workers keep contact with their family, relatives, and close friends so they don't feel lost and forgotten when they come back. Then, we forecast the comeback and don't start to prepare it at the last time. We introduce all new changes that happen while the concerned employees wasn't here. Then we take the responsibility to make all the administrative and legislative papers. We also pay for all the flights and business trips. And finally, we take into account the potential spend when you rise and propose some aids and assistance economics.